Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm working on a traveler's notebook layout titled Road Trip. I'll be scrapping these photos, and I'm working with a digital scrapbook kit, Listen to Your Heart by Ponytails Designs, which is from the 2022 Freebie collection from Shoppe Designs. So it's available in 2022 as a freebie. This layout is based on sketch number 40, which is a silhouette cut template that will be available as freebie at MistyHilltops.com, and there are a number of freebies available for download, so if you haven't done it, go check it out. And so I'm starting this page by stamping the background. Now, I would have liked to actually put this stamp on the other page. This is a traveler's notebook spread, which comes in with two pages, but there was design from the previous page on the background of this, or on the back side of this, the left page. So I knew if I was going to try to stamp, then it would just like parts of the stamp wouldn't be transferred onto the paper because of the bulky background. So I decided to just do the stamp on the one side of the page that has nothing on the background. And I wasn't going for a perfect look. You see, it's not even the ink didn't apply perfectly everywhere, but I just wanted to give it a kind of little messy-ish look there, and so I didn't mind that the stamp wasn't perfectly done. Also, I didn't do the entire stamp. I didn't ink up the entire stamp. I only inked up part of it, the part that I wanted to be visible. So here I ran a card along the edge of my paper just to roughen up the edge. It just gives a little more dimension to my papers, and I do that with pretty much all my papers. I find that my papers become a lot more visible this way than when I have just the flat edge of papers on the page. And as usual, if you watch my other videos, you know that I like to start by laying out the design, which is always a bit hard because things slide around, want to move on the page, and the page itself wants to move, and I don't have very still hands, so it's a little difficult. But I want to have a general idea where I place these things. You see, these flowers are actually from Color and Contour by Stamp. It's a stamp and die set from Stampin' Up. And these little road signs I actually made myself in the silhouette, and so just printed them, added my own word art there because this is the Sea of Galilee in Israel, and so I wanted that to reflect. We were on the road there. So here I'm starting with what needs to go in the background, and that's why I haven't started gluing down the papers yet, because there's stuff that still needs to go behind the papers that'll be tucked behind the papers. So I'm starting with those parts before I can actually start with gluing down any kind of paper. But once I have the flower and that little word art piece there, which is also a stamp, that is just only available locally. So once that is glued down, now I can glue down that paper strip that goes there, and that's what I do. I glue that paper strip there, and then here's that little circle that also goes behind that larger paper there, and things are just sliding all around the page, so that's the struggle I have. That's one of the things that makes it harder with the edges popping up, because that way the papers just are a little more difficult to handle. But obviously I like the way that it turns out far more. Here, when I put the photos down, I want to be aware where the center line of the two-page spread is, and so I was just paying attention, and then I kept an eye on where on the background patterned paper there, where I should put the paper down so that I have it the way that I had planned it with the silhouette template that I created. So you can get the template of this at some point. I might be a little early in uploading it. I'm not sure by the time that I am videotaping, by the time that I created this page, but keep going back to mistyhilltops.com and you will find templates, and you will find lots of things there. Every week stuff will be uploaded. So here I'm ready to start the clustering there, and again this flower from Stampin' Up goes in the background. I just love the way this flower looks. It looks like somebody with a crayon or colored pencil just drew a flower, and it just really looks so real, even though it's just a stamp. So here I want to add the street signs. This is literally on our road. We are coming from Megiddo, and we are driving past the Sea of Galilee. We are approaching from the south of the Sea of Galilee, and we will have to drive all along the Sea of Galilee to the north side, where we are staying at a kibbutz, which will be the next page one of the next pages that I'll be working with. And so here we are catching a first glimpse of the Sea of Galilee. This is not my first trip to Israel, so this was not my first time to see the Sea of Galilee, but it's still always exciting for me to see these places. And so there was a nice scenic spot, and we stopped the car to take a few pictures, or I might have even taken the pictures out of the driving car. I can't even remember at this point anymore. This was a trip in 2019, and at the time that I'm making this, it's 2022, so it's been a couple of years. So this is a mixture of my own embellishments that I create, like the flowers, stamps. I use stamps to create the ephemera, and I think I only really used the papers from this. It's a mini kit. So the Shoppe Designs, every year all the designers create mini scrapbook kits with digital samplers to give you an idea of what they create in their store, and so you can download these as freebie. And so this wasn't even a travel kit, but I loved the colors and I thought it worked well with the photos, so I went with the pattern papers were lovely pattern papers. So here I am struggling because I have this bunting, and I want to also, I will have to cut apart this bunting because it goes across the two pages, so I have to be very, very careful with where I put it, so that I don't want to cut right through one of the flags. I want to cut between two of those pieces, and so I'm a little more careful with how I glue this down there, so that I really can make sure that the cut will be in the right place with this bunting. That's what you saw me fiddling about. And now I'm ready to add a few more of the flowers there clustered around the little, which I decided to make my title is the road trip. It's actually from a stamp. I think it's even a German stamp set of traveling, a travel stamp set, but it has the little road trip word that it is a bigger stamp, and I just leave out. I don't ink up the rest of the stamp. It tells you how far you went that day and the kilometers and the hours spent or something. So anyway, I can't remember those details, never found out about them, and so I just wanted the word road trip, which was very suitable because this was literally taken as we were on the road. And so we left Tel Aviv in the morning, drove to Megiddo, which took a couple of hours to get there, spent some time at Megiddo looking at the site, and then moved on to the kibbutz, which is north of the Sea of Galilee. So now I'm ready. After I have put together all the flowers here, I need to still cut apart the journal strips, so I decided to start to actually do some of the journaling, not just imagine some of the journaling. Every page, even my past pages that I've already uploaded and stuff, they still have, I still added or will add some more journaling. The journal strips are mostly even already printed out and just need to go on the pages, but there's space on every page because when I designed the template, I designed it with space for journaling. And so basically how I treat a traveler's notebook spread like a scrapbook layout, like a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout, except that it is smaller. It's a kind of 8 1/4 by 8.5 inch page that will be cut in the middle. So that's one of the things I always have to be aware of with my designs, and when I create those templates, I do that. I do pay attention to, so that the photos, sometimes photos will be cut apart, or there will be a cut right through the photo, but I try to avoid it as best I can. So here I am gluing down this bunting somewhere where the cut line will be, and I will probably have to glue it down once I cut through the page, which that is going to be fiddly too, because I will not want to just cut a tiny bit off of this bunting. So it's something that to pay attention to and be aware of. So here I'm adding some more word strips. I'm sharing word strips as freebies on my blog. They are for they're just different, like there's winter and there's travel and there's garden and autumn, so I have different kinds of word strips. So here I have buttons that I will also add to, and I think I will add a third button in the center there to go onto that bunting in the center more. And so here I'm still adding some of the word strips. I have a whole bunch, and then I don't use all. So here I'm looking for that third button. I'm not too excited with these buttons. They look lovely, but they are really thick kind of on this page and make this page really, really bulky. So more bulky than any of the flowers that I put on it or anything else. And so now I have to press it down and I'm ready. Oh, I noticed there's one thing that wasn't really glued down yet, so I need to glue down this flower, and then I still need to, again, another flower still not glued down. And then I need to flip around the page and use the back side to cut through the page, but here is where I want to pay attention, so I'm turning it around and going from the other side so that I really don't have to cut through this bunting. And you see now I actually do what I usually don't ever do, and I cut it from this side, even though I can't see the line, but I have a top and the bottom. And so obviously here that part of the bunting is loose, which was exactly what I was expecting anyway, and now I'm just adhering it back onto the page there with some more glue. And then I felt there needed to, just to secure it a little more, a little bit of glue on that side behind that bunting there as well. So this is this page done. I'm going to leave you with some more close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider giving it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.